Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. And what a lovely day it is. The sun is shining. Look, I'm going to show you. The sun is somewhat shining. It's all right out there. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. And Tottenham Hotspur have a here we go for Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus is going to be a Tottenham Hotspur footballer. A Tottenham Hotspur footballer. Let's talk about it, guys and girls. First of all, good morning to you all. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you very much for all of your support on the channel. Please smash that like button, people. Please smash that like button. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, we're in a good mood, aren't we? We're in a good mood. And just so we can make an even better mood, we're 6 subscribers away. We're 6 subscribers away from 19,000 people asking me if I'm sure. I am sure. We have got the here we go. David Ornstein has also given it the thumbs up. And finally now, we can give Daniel Levy some credit and some praise, because we all said, we're messing about. We're not going to get the deal done. Well, he has. He has got the deal done, and it is now pending medical. And you know what? That now makes sense as to why Tottenham have been linked today with Vissa. Maybe we're going to get Mohamed Kudus and Vissa from Brentford. What a day to be alive. Tottenham Hotspur have agreed a deal for Mohamed Kudus. So we've got the here we go. Big up to each and every one of you. I'll show you what's been said in just a second, but make sure you smash that like button, please. Make sure you do smash that like button. One and only, you can bugger off. This is not underwhelming. Come on, get with it. Come on, get with it. Get with it. Daniel Levy's got the deal done. He's got the deal done, right? Most people wanted him. We can surely turn around and say fair play to Daniel effing Levy for this one. Surely we can say fair play. Lots of people, I had my doubts. Lots of people starting to wonder whether or not we were going to be able to get a deal done. But we have got the deal done. And you know what? We can't cry for something and then not be happy when we get it. Yeah. One and only, please go to another stream. None of this. None of this negativity. None of this negativity. Come on. This is Tottenham, who have gone for their first choice signing. They've got him, and we move. And now we can move on to other targets. Everyone said they wanted 60, 65, 70. The deal has been done. Let's show you at 55 million plus add-ons. So fair play to Daniel Levy for getting that done. Let's have a look before we do anything, shall we? There it is. Let me just double check that there's not another one since. There we go. Breaking news. There it is, everyone. Breaking news. Mohamed Kudus to Tottenham. Here we go. Deal in place for 55 million from West Ham. Kudus only wanted Tottenham, and he will now sign a 6-year contract. What more can we say? What more can we say other than this is great news, right? This has surely got to go down as fantastic news for Tottenham. He's going to be there for all of our first friendlies. He's going to be there for the Tour of Asia. He's going to be there for the Super Cup. And more importantly, he's going to be there for the beginning. No. Hang on 1 second. Have a day. I was, 1 second. Right. Big up Iggy. Iggy, how are you, sir?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
The scope of our conversation has changed somewhat, as you can imagine. Hopefully that's okay with you.
Yeah, I can see. I heard before just coming on. I was starting to get used to the idea that we weren't going to sign anyone. Honestly, I was getting round to that the way of thinking, the way we were going. So to hear this as well just a few minutes ago, and then obviously you just said it as well. Yeah, yeah. I know one of the comments I just saw was a bit underwhelming sign. I'm like, no. This is a good, exciting signing. It's the kind of signing that we want. He's a good player. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
I don't think the title race is on, but yeah, he's a good player,
Yeah.
and he's an
Well, look,
exciting player to have.
welcome to the show, Iggy. I'm
Thank
just
you.
going to show people what Romano has said, what Ornstein has said, and then I'm going to show them what Paul O'Keefe has said, because suddenly it looks like he's got a tiny bit of egg on his face after tweeting an hour ago that a deal is nowhere near done and Tottenham are nowhere near close getting this deal done in the next week or so. So this is very, very,
Ouch.
yeah, very interesting. But the good news, Kudus only wanted Tottenham and he will sign a 6-year deal. We turned into Chelsea. We suddenly turned into Chelsea. 6-year deals, medical test booked for Kudus in London on Thursday, then all signed as David Ornstein reports. And if I show you what David Ornstein said, because David Ornstein got there first, not that I'm sure these people care. You can see there, let's double check. He's not said anything since. You can see there, he said exclusive. Tottenham reached total agreement with West Ham for the signing of Kudus. Forward worth in the region of 55 million, medical scheduled on Thursday. Iggy.
Thursday, only tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's only tomorrow,
Yeah.
Thursday. It's not next week. Thursday's tomorrow.
Yeah,
so,
Thursday is tomorrow.
I might have to pop down to the training ground tomorrow, see what's going on. I might have to head down there.
Madness. I mean, look, Iggy, like you, I was starting to get to the point where it was like, are we seeing a Daniel Levy special? Is he dragging this out? But let's be fair. Romano reported the first bid Saturday night.
Yep.
It's Wednesday. That's not 4 days of negotiations since. That's Daniel Levy's making progress, and that's a bloody good deal for me. How are you feeling about it?
Look, even when I heard about it on Saturday, I thought it was one of them ones where, all right, we'll see how this goes. Yeah. But then I think it coincided with I think West Ham have a real massive necessity to sell as well. They need to get some money in, and there was a reported like 40 to 50 million they need to bring in cash. So maybe the two things combined came to this really. Look, whatever the cases may be, the fact of the matter is it was spoken about on Saturday, and here we are, middle of the week, and the deal is confirmed. The deal is done. Romano's confirmed it, so it's as good as done. And tomorrow he'll be wearing a Spurs shirt at the training ground. So, listen, I'm excited for it for the simple fact that we finally have a winger in that can take on players, that can go past players. Whether he plays on the right hand side or left hand side, we've got a player that can do really well for us moving on this season. So, yeah, we needed something, because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't excited with I'm still not really over excited about Mathis signing on a permanent. But I'm winning.
Who is?
I also said in even in our streams, I'm willing to leave the door ajar for him to prove me wrong. I would love nothing more to be sitting here 6 months down the line and say, you know what, I got it wrong with him. I should have been more excited. Remains to be seen. But this guy here, on the other hand, I am happy about signing. We know he's already played in the Premier League. He's shown what he can. He's shown good sign, a good massive potential of how well he can do, and he can continue to do, if not even better, next season with us. So, and maybe with the right coach, with Frank, he will do even better next season. I know that West Ham fans are fuming. I know that because I've heard a few already today, even at work. There was talks that some West Ham fans were at work where I am, and I'm telling you now, SAVVA, they are fuming. They are not only selling one of their best assets, but they're selling them to us.
Yeah,
the rivals, they hate it.
Do you know the funny thing? I was saying this the other day, Iggy. At first it was, Kudus, Kudus, he's not that good. We won't miss him, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, when we're in talks with Tottenham, what do you mean you're in talks with Tottenham? He might be going there. They're the scum, blah, blah, blah. I just think, listen, I echo everything you just said there. listen, the Matisse Tell thing didn't excite me one bit. But this is what we have seen for years at Spurs, Iggy, especially those of us who are probably a little bit older. Seen a bloke that gets the ball and you go, you hold your breath and you're off your seat. And
take them
yeah,
out.
I've got a feeling there's going to be some frustrating times, like there always are with skillful players. But this man's going to light up the lane, isn't he? Isn't he going to be the player we need?
He's definitely a player that we've needed, and I've shouted so long, like even last season, say I want to see a winger at Spurs where his first thought as soon as he gets the ball is to take on a man, not having to play on the inside, to actually be on the outside and take the players on, and he's shown that he can do that. I know people will probably argue the price over 55 million. It's a lot of money, man. There's no two ways about that. But in comparison to what a lot of players go for, that's probably quite a standard, quite a standard price. Really, 35, 40, 45, 50 million, 55 million. It's the norm at the moment. So, listen, he will come with a bit of pressure. But you know what? And I mean no disrespect to anyone. It is a step up for him. He's going to be playing Champions League football. As well. So listen, I'm excited. If we can get Wissa as well, Wissa's another player that I like. I know we've mentioned Mbeumo, but Wissa's a really good player as well. So all of a sudden our attacking line looks a little bit different, looks a bit more tastier at least.
That's what I was going to say to you. I was sitting there about 2 hours ago and everyone, you know what it's like as a Spurs fan where everyone sends you every bit of gossip they hear and 9 out of 10, you go, oh, that's a troll. But you go, oh, hang on, Matt Laws said it, or oh, okay, Ornstein said it. Oh, and then when I started seeing all this Visser news, you go, oh, right, well, it's going to be Visser instead of Kudus. Maybe Iggy, maybe Daniel Levy's putting the two together. Maybe we're going to revamp that forward line for Thomas Frank, and it would revamp it, wouldn't it? Both of those two.
Well, if he's coming in place for the likes of, like someone mentioned in a comment as well, Richarlison and stuff like that, and we paid 60 million for him as well. So all of a sudden, 55 million for Kudus is not so bad, and he's shown that he's the kind of player that we desperately need. And I'm not saying that it's done. Our attack in front still needs a lot of work, but all of a sudden we started to put some pieces together. And like I said, up until about 10 minutes ago, I honestly thought it was just all talk, and I didn't think there was anything going to get over the line. I've not done a single video this summer of a transfer. Nothing. I've said I'm not going to entertain until I see someone writing down it's official and he's posing with a shirt. A player that's worth talking about, not some unknown from Japan who are hardly known. And I mean no disrespect. I want to see someone who's Premier League proven and someone who's excited. And today is probably it's as good a start as any to really say, you know what, maybe, just maybe, we might have turned the corner in terms of the quality of the signing, not just the signing for the sake of it.
I mean, one of the key things that, listen, you and I are very guilty of this, by the way. Sorry if I'm just grouping you in with me here, Iggy, but I've seen you for years and years on screen. You know, people like me and you, we're very guilty of saying that, Levy doesn't back managers with the players he wants. But one of the first things we heard when we were linked with Kudus was that this was the guy that Thomas Frank wanted, that he wanted Kudus. We're now hearing the same thing with Visser, which makes sense. Like, it's his guy. He nurtured him. This could get multiple monkeys off the back at the same time. He's gone and done differently in sacking Ange and then bringing in a coach and all his staff. And that cost about 20 million, by the way, to sack him and bring in Frank. Now he's getting managers, players that they want. What's happened to Daniel Levy?
Listen, I'm going to hold fire a little bit longer on that one. Let's just like one thing at a time. I'm hoping that we've waited this long, and all of a sudden we're just going to do an X amount of signings, and we're going to go, right, here's the first signing, second signing, and hopefully like they'll all come in back, a back-to-back sort of thing. I'm glad that the one area that they're sort of focusing on is our attack, because that was the worry for me moving forward this season. I know we wanted to get Mbeumo in, and I know Mbeumo and Wissa as their partnership would have been brilliant for Frank. Then you can say, you know what, those are Frank's signing, because they are the kind of players that obviously they're his players from Brentford. But the fact that we didn't get Mbeumo because he's likely to go United, but we got a player that has similar attributes. I'm not even going to start comparing the two players or anything like that. But in terms of attributes and what we're looking for in players in one-on-one and perhaps assisting and scoring goals, I know. Again, I saw that someone said, he only got 9 assists last season. Look, he's shown that what he can do. There's potential there. Does he need to improve on his certain things? Of course he does. But hopefully he's moving into a club where it will allow him to do that. And like I said, if we can get Wissa as well on board, which I can't imagine Wissa not wanting to leave Brentford to come to Spurs. I don't think that will be an issue. Personal, it's just a question of whether Brentford, who've lost already enough to us in terms of personnel and stuff like that, do they really want to lose any more to us? But that remains to be seen. I hope that we can get them both aboard. And all of a sudden, like I said, you got a little bit of variation in the forward line. If we can get Richarlison out, all of a sudden you bring in the likes of Wissa in his place, and you got Kudus. Maybe it changes a little bit. Yeah, credit. Listen, we hammer, or I certainly hammer the board for not doing, and they still know if they take these sort of steps, and I get excited, and we get excited about more signings coming in the next few weeks, then we can start saying, do you know what? Not completely sold, but I'm on the right trajectory. We're on the right trajectory of perhaps something new happening for next season. So you're mute, Sav. You're mute.
Sorry, it's because I sneezed. It's because I did a sneeze, didn't I? Sorry. And as George says, George, we are 5 subscribers away from 19,000. 5. Just 5 little people. All big people. It doesn't matter. The link will be in the chat, so please smash that button.
It'll happen before the end of the season. No. This stream, actually.
The end of the season? Bloody hell.
I meant to say stream. I meant to say stream. I meant to say stream, and I said season by mistake. Sorry, man. Slip of the tongue.
But listen, I think somebody just put in a really good big up, George. Thank you, by the way. The link is in there, and I'm going to pin it now for anybody watching. Please do subscribe if you could. It'd be great to have a double celebration, personal one for me, for the channel, but also Kudus signing for Tottenham Hotspur. Look, I think one of the key things that we look at here is we have got a coach now, Iggy, and a lot of what I've been talking about the last couple of weeks or so since hearing the news about Kudus is, can he do for Kudus what he's done for Mbeumo? So we knew Mbeumo was a good player, but a lot of the Brentford fans were all saying, yeah, but he misses a lot of chances. But over the years, he's got better and better and better. He's got him in better positions. He's got more goals. There's no reason why he can't do that for someone like Kudus, right? That's his job.
Listen, Kudus is not the finished article. I don't know how exactly. I can't remember how old he is, but I don't imagine he's that old. And listen, and he's got room for improvement. He has got massive room for improvement, and I think in the right team with the right coach, he can definitely improve, and not only in his own personal attribute, but in terms of stats as well. He can add if you were 24. So yeah, look, he's not really young, but he's definitely not the finished article yet. So I think it's a good step up for him. I really do believe it's a good step up for him. And a team of who just come from winning a European trophy, so they go into a new season with a lot of. I honestly think that we got a lot of things to play for next season as well. I'm not talking about just in terms of trophy. We've got a lot of things to really challenge for, and I do think with a solid look, if we're able to keep all our defenders as well, I think we've got a really solid base in terms of defensive structure. Now we just need to add the quality going forward, because I really do think we lacked variation. We lacked a little bit of dynamism in the wider areas. So hopefully he will add to that. I really do hope that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I've said the one thing for me is this window is really important, freshen things up. I've said for a long time, I don't actually think this squad is as bad as many made it out to be. I just think it was really, really uncoached, Iggy. I don't think there's a massive need to do anything at the back unless he wants to tactically change formation, or unless Romero goes, for example. But the forward line and at least one midfielder for me were paramount. And going into games next season, how much more excited will you be, mate, knowing that the forward four are Kudus, Visser, Maddison, and Son, for example, rather than Johnson, Solanke, Tell, and Maddison? Do you know what I mean? It changes the game.
Listen, we get a couple of more players in that forward line, and I think it really takes a different step. And obviously, we start working some in the midfield. I do feel like we're missing someone in the middle of the park. A quality box-to-box would be something that I would really like to see at Spurs. That's not to say that I know we got Maddison and we got Kulu that can play there, but I'd really like to see something different in there as well. I can't put my finger in it, but I feel like there's something missing in that middle of the park that we can definitely improve on. If that base of the defense stays as it is, and now from what I've been hearing, we have had no negotiations with Atletico Madrid in terms of Romero. So there's nothing really live there at the moment, unless something takes a turn. I see us staying as we are there. You're right, and of course it doesn't mean that we're going to be playing the high line, so we can play a little bit lower, and which will probably help those players and allow the attacking players to have more room to attack. More ground to attack further forward.
Exactly.
And with the inverted fullbacks, if that could, listen, I have to see how what Frank's got in mind. It is official by the sounds of it. So we want to. If Romano said it, Ornstein has said it,
and even Plettenberg, we've got the trifecta. Plettenberg has also said it's happened. And Sky are announcing, by the way, that Spurs are still in for Visser, and it's not affected by the Kudus deal. Now, I don't know, but is Daniel Levy about to give us our best ever week in a transfer window? I don't know.
Double signing, right? Double signing will be a really good start, because honestly, like I said, I've done a stream not that long after we won the cup final, and I said to myself, you know what? Spurs are in a great position by now. We're in a great position of power because we've won a trophy. The fans all on board. Okay, the manager went in the end. We got a new manager in, but still, we have we're still like buzzing. And Champions League football was there. The money's coming as well. So we're in a position of power. We can have now players coming in. We can go and get whoever we want right now, within reason, of course, because it's an exciting place to be at right now, this moment. And I felt with the weeks going right up until, like I said, about 10 minutes before coming on here, I was starting to think, are we letting this parade pass us by? I know we went to a parade, but we're letting another parade now pass us by. The excitement parade, where we're going back to being the old Spurs again now. You won your little trophy, now get out of the way, go in the corner, go back to stand another 20 years of nothing. Maybe, just maybe, this could be something, a start. I know we're buzzing at the moment because we've only just heard the news, and we're buzzing at this signing. It's an exciting signing. I just hope that there's more to come.
Big up, Ryan. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're well.
How you doing, Ryan?
Listen, Ryan, I don't think anyone is suggesting that we don't need more. What I do think is important in life is I think we've got to be able to celebrate in the moment as well as look into the future or the past. I feel like when good things like this happen, in football, you get more bad than good, right? So when the good happens, take it on board. Exactly. Let's enjoy it. Let me do a couple of super chats. I'm buzzing. I'm really buzzing. First of all, big up to Leon Oliver for becoming a new YouTube member. Big up to Amanda Lawrence for becoming a new YouTube member. And big up to Scott Colliver for becoming a new YouTube member as well. Big up to all three of you. You did just miss a members only show, which I was doing live when the news broke. But we'll have another one next week. Big up to you three. Let's do some super chats. Mark Taylor has said happy Kudus Day. And I am informed that it is Kudus, not Kudus. Kudus, I'm told. But Kudus. I don't know. I might be completely wrong. Big up to you, Mark. Very generous. Thank you. Really appreciate that. My man, Moose City, out there in the US, said, here we go. Let's go, Kudus. Going to be crazy good under Thomas Frank. Bookmark it. I bet he has 15 plus GA in the Prem. I would expect nothing less
It's got to
from
be the
him.
aim, right? It's got to be the aim.
Yeah. I'm looking at even 20. I think he's going to be a revelation, and I think he's going to enjoy lighting up the lane. And I'm sure him and VDV will have a little cuddle and get their differences put to one side. Big up to you, Moose. Really appreciate that, my friend. Big up to Facts Only, who has said fair play. I know it's horrible, isn't it? It's like you got to say it through gritted teeth. But I'm going to talk with Iggy in a moment about, yes, fair play, but this is what we should be doing. So we've got to, it's that blend, right? But big up to you, Facts Only. Big up to Moose. He coming again. Said also, the fact that Kudus wanted us only makes me want him more. Well, listen, that's all we've heard is that he only wants us. And to be fair, looks like he's our number one target. And we've gone out and got the deal done. So big up to all concerned, whether that's Frank, Levy, Lang, whoever. Fair play, big up, and welcome to Tottenham, Mohammed Kudus. Big up to Rob Welsh. Said, fair play, Daniel Levy. Not often I'll say that. Rob, let's hope you have to say it a few more times this summer, because that will mean we've had a great window. Big up to you, Rob. Thank you very much. And big up to my man, Finn, who was just on the members only show of me, who said 2 more in before the tour and raise some funds for a 6 and a left centre-back stroke left back. Well, look, I've got a feeling that we will have to let players go. We've got a big squad. I'm not saying we've got a quality squad, but we've got a big squad, and we'll talk to Iggy about that shortly. What I will say is, guys, we are 1 subscriber away from 19,000. One of you. Anyway, listen, Iggy, I think it's that balance, isn't it? Thank you for the super chats. It's that balance of, we don't want to go overboard with, oh my God, Levy, he signed a good player, because that is his job. But at the same time, it is okay to recognize that he has acted a little bit different here. You know, he has gone to a rival, an enemy, whatever you want to say, gone and got one of their best players, whilst paying to sack a manager, paying to bring in a manager, bringing in all their coaching staff. It does bode well, right? For him, it does bode well.
The thing is, he he come up with that quote, so we want to, we want more. We want the Champions League. We want to win the league, and they're thinking, oh, all right, he's really gone one here. But he needs to start putting things into place. So if you want to move towards that level, you need to start putting things in place to move into that. Since that kind of if that is what you wish to go for, then yeah, do you know what? People are mentioning in the chat Douglas Luiz. He'd be a really good player. And I know Juventus are desperate to sell, and he would be going for around. I've been hearing in Italy that he could be gone for about 25 million. I think for 25 million, Luiz could be a player that could much improve that Spurs team. I know he's had a lot of problems with injuries, so I've gone a bit on a tangent. But I know he's had a lot of injuries, but it's an anomaly because before then he didn't really have a lot of injuries at Aston Villa. He's somebody that can play, and do you know what? And there's another thing that he would add if he came to us is scoring from free kicks. Well, I don't remember the last time we've scored from a free kick, set pieces, or certainly not with regularity. So I would like to see that happening a bit more at Spurs. So he could be that player that we're looking for. I don't know. It just depends how Frank wants to play this one. But in terms of the player, look, at the end of the day, we can get excited about a signing. We can, big up James. We can get excited about a signing. Because it's just happened, literally happened before we went on the show. And here we are thinking we're gonna have a little chat with you, me and you, and questions, and then we know you got 20,000 around the corner as subscribers. It's becoming a show 20,000 celebration, a signing, a coup. So it's a good afternoon. All of a sudden, I've gone. Oh, we're going to talk about Spurs on one. I was saying to you earlier, I don't mind sharing it with the guys. I was saying, with a hand emoji, like what kind of questions we're going to get pelted at us, because I don't know. We had nothing to really talk about in terms of new signing and stuff like that. And here we are. That's how quickly things can change. And I would love to have a West Ham a West Ham fan in the comments now.
I'd love it.
I doubt they'll be anywhere, but.
The best man at my wedding is West Ham, and I've literally just put in our lads group, not a Spurs group. I said, sorry, I thought this would never happen, and just the here we go with Romano, just like The interesting thing, as with anything, somebody's always got to bring the tone down. John Kramer fan, big up John. Hello. Said if Ange was manager, you would be fuming at this signing. You were just happy due to your love for Frank. I like this. John Kramer fan. What does this even mean? Why would I not want Kudus if Ange was here? You do realize that when Ange was here, before in his first summer, there were lots of reports saying that he actually picked Brennan Johnson over Kudus. But I don't understand what Ange has got to do with this moment at all. Do you, Iggy? Like, I don't get it.
Listen, there's going to be. Listen, we've had. There's always going to be this thing. Some people, a lot of people will be happy that he's gone. Other people will not be happy he's gone. But the matter of the fact, whether we like it or not, Ange is no longer here. I don't see what the signing of Kudus. I think you got to look at it. To the gentleman that wrote that message, you got to look at it and say and just answer and just look at it for what it is. The signing that we made, Kudus, whether Ange was here or not, it's a good signing, man. And like I said for earlier on, for the price that we got him at, it's not cheap. Certainly isn't cheap. But for what's you can look around and what the players are moving around for, and the wages they're moving around for, I think it's a good deal, man. And he's a player that is not a finished article by no stretch of imagination, but he has shown in his time at West Ham that he's a really good player, and is definitely can improve a lot more. And I'm excited because, like I said, we finally find a player. We have a player in the squad, a winger in the squad, that can take men on. That his first thought, as soon as he gets on the ball, is to take a man on and create an American advantage in our attacks. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I want to see from our wingers. Is that's the first thought, and to have one finally that can do that. Because if you look at it, Son, yeah, in the past he's done it, but he hasn't done it so lately. And if you Mathis Tell, question mark. Brennan Johnson, yes, he's added a lot of goals, but he's not one to take players on. Really, he doesn't skillfully take players on. Who am I missing now? Werner. Let's not even go there. So we needed someone that can do that, and I feel like we've identified a player. Obviously, Mbeumo wasn't we didn't get him, and it is what it is. But this guy is a player that as soon as we put we set out to get him, and we got him, and that's how you got to look at it. We set out to get this player, and we've brought him in a matter of days, and that's a good start for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Phil is right. Phil Coys, big up to you, my man. It is a difference a week makes. It is. We're all sitting there last week going, well, what's going on?
Last week, an hour ago, mate. We were talking about last week. An hour ago, I was saying this to you. What's going on? I was worried about coming on because I don't know what the hell we was going to get asked. And I'm like, what do we talk about, SAVVA? We talk about a Japanese signing, and I don't mean to be like, I don't want to like. I'm like, who is this guy, man? We just won a UEFA Cup, and here we are. We've signed a centre back, which is about the 7th that we've got in a squad. I'm like, I'm not buzzing. I'm not. Where's this hype of the winning something? And finally today, I'm like, wow, I'm coming on. We just announced Kudus coming on in here. I'm like, my mood completely changed. Honestly, I wish you'd seen my face an hour ago. Nothing to do with coming on your show. Don't get me wrong. It's always good coming on in any of the guys' shows and talking about Spurs. But I'm thinking, with what energy am I going in? And all of a sudden, my energy changed from 20 minutes before they're coming on, and now I'm like, I'm buzzing, man. Finally, it's like we got someone in that in an area that we desperately need. If we can go and get a striker as well, don't stop. You know what I mean? I better stop here.
I think you hit the nail on the head just now. One of the things you said, Iggy. For me, I'm old school, right? When my wide player gets the ball, I want to see him beat a man. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not naive enough to think that the wide player beats them every time, unless it's someone as sexy as this gentleman behind me. Not Messi, Ginola. But Kudus will give us that. He will give us that. The unpredictability that he's got makes him unpredictable to fullbacks. You know what you're going to get from most of our wide men. Last year they were going to get the ball cut in because they can't beat a man. No. This guy offers you, is he going to go on the outside? Is he going to drive through the middle? Is he just going to bulldoze his way through? I'm
He's got
really
a good shot
excited.
on him as well. He's got a good shot
Yeah.
as well. So he's and I honestly do believe, that there are margins of improvement in him. There is. He's not like someone I look at and say, that's it. There's definitely more you can get out of him. And look, Frank maybe can do it, can't do it. I don't know. Remains to be seen. But I am hopeful that we're going to get an even better player than what we've seen at West Ham. I think he can become even more better. He
Mhm.
can gain more experience, and he's going to be. Again, I don't want to say anything bad. He's going to be playing with better players that perhaps West Ham had. You know, and I really, if we play him on the right hand side, I look forward to the combination of him and Poro together. You know, on that
Yes.
right hand side. And all of a sudden, my head's starting to go overdrive. I'm starting to think in the combinations that we got. He can go, and like you said, on the outside with Poro to over to, if we don't want to play inverted fullbacks, God forbid, we can have Poro going on the outside when he's attacking on the inside. And all of a sudden, you got a different dynamic on your wide areas. And I felt like we massively missed that with the way we
Agreed.
were playing last season.
Completely agreed. And first of all, can I just say thank you to everyone who has just helped me get over 19K. A very good day for me personally, and a good day for Tottenham Hotspur. As YouTubers, we really
Well
do
done.
appreciate you. So thank you very much. It's not quite as big as some other channels, but we're making our moves. We're doing our thing.
It takes
And
the pennies to make the pound, as the old saying goes. So listen, at the end of the day, listen, as long as you keep going up and up and up, that's all you can do, man. That is all you can
no,
do. It's be like
absolutely.
Spurs.
Look after the pennies, and the pounds look after themselves, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
yeah, listen, big up, and Troy saying, hey Sav, I wonder what Matt thinks of this. Well, listen, as I said yesterday, listen, it's not like, oh my god, suddenly Levy's amazing, but many like me, like he's admitted it, like many of us have doubted, can we get this done? Do we have the appetite to go toe to toe with a club for a player and go and get it done? And we have. And I think now what many people want to see is, can we go again? Can we go again?
Absolutely.
And that's the main thing here, right? I think what a lot of people listen, you know that song, what is it? What have you done for me lately? Right? Remember that song? That's football fans. Today we'll rejoice. Tomorrow will be right. Daniel, Levy, you're the devil. Where's the number 6 we need? Where's the number 9 we need? You know, that's what football fans are like, Iggy.
But look, if you can't make statements like, we need, we need to go for the Champions League. We need to go for the league. This is something that he himself, Mr. Levy himself, has said, and we're like, yeah, we're on board, man. You don't need to sell it to me. We're on board. We're there. We're there with you. We're happy. Let's go for it if that's what you want. But then it's like, okay, can we now make some steps towards that? No one's saying you need to deliver the league and the Champions League this season, but can we see steps towards and saying, all right, we're not here yet, but we're going to make steps in the next 3, 4 to 5 years, that this is where we want to go. I'm on board if I see things in place that are heading towards that way. Otherwise, I'd be like, no, I'd be Levy out as always. Until then, I'm always going to be Levy until I see these steps being taken and back what he says.
Yeah. Just quickly, there's a lot of people that have the. Listen, big up to you, bird's eye view audience. I love that. That's a great picture as well going on there. There are a lot of people who are worried about this sentiment, not necessarily everything this viewer has said, but there's a lot of people, Iggy, saying, oh, well, he's got a bad attitude, and when things go bad, it's gonna blow up. Do you think we're making too much of that? Because I was speaking to a lot of fans.
No.
I was speaking to some fans the other day from Ajax, and they were saying that when he was at Ajax, they were saying that they were speaking to Ghana fans who said, look, listen, this boy has not had it easy. Said, like, he has had to make it work. He's had to work hard to get where he's got to. And I think we're all going a bit overboard about knowing that he's got an attitude, because the West Ham fans have told us that.
I don't really care for it. I don't really care for it, Sab. I don't mind that. I don't mind a player with attitude as long as he delivers on the pitch. Remember when we bought Dele Alli in from Milton Keynes? Did he have attitude? Did he have attitude? Wasn't it that same attitude that got him to become the Dele Alli that he became at Spurs? Without that attitude, he wouldn't have become the Dele Alli did. Yes, subsequently things happened in his career and his personal life, and that kind of took a dive. I'm talking about the rise of Dele Alli when he came at Spurs. Without that attitude, without that nastiness that he had about him, we'd
Yeah,
had that. Maybe it was the back, it was the way his upbringing. I don't know. There's certain things that happen in people's lives that bring them back. As long as he delivers on the pitch, that is all the fans care about. If he's a nice bloke off it or he's a nasty piece of work, I don't really care. As long as when he's wearing that Spurs shirt, he is delivering the goods. That is
agreed.
what we, the fans, the people that season ticket holders, that's what they pay the money for. The player that you mentioned behind you, that is what people. That was a bad Spurs team, but people would pay the ticket to watch Ginola do his bit. And as long
Yeah,
as Kudus is doing his bit, the rest doesn't matter. I'm not worried about things like that. Players. There's so many players at the moment up for grabs. Vlahovic. I mean, that he's been mentioned. Juventus want to part ways with him. We know that. But the problem, Juventus wants to part way with it because they want to get him to tie up on a new contract that isn't 12 million a year, which is what he's on. He does not want to let go of that 12 million a year. So whatever team wants him will get a reduced price for getting him. You might get him for 25 million, but you have to pay him the 12 million or close to that amount. Not a lot
yeah,
of clubs can afford it. And that's why
of course.
Juventus want him off the books and they're willing to cut their losses with him in terms of transfer fee in order to get him off their books. So can he be got at? Yes, he can be got at, but the man wants to be paid. The man wants to be paid, and as long as we're willing to pay the wages, which we're not that team yet. We don't want to pay those wages. 4 million a year for that ain't happening. So I can't see him coming just based on that. Not certainly not because of the transfer fee.
Do you know what? I think it's interesting because one of the things I've always liked to look a bit deeper into in terms of football is the football side. Hang on, let me see if I can get this right. Is what happens at the football club side of things. So I think a lot of people do, like you said, they see things like, oh my God, have you seen so-and-so's going for free? So like, let's take Jonathan David, for example, right? So Jonathan David, it was, oh my God, on a free transfer. What a bargain. When you
Wages, my
actually
friend.
break down into it, Jonathan David wanted a £15 million signing on fee. His agent wanted a 10 million signing on fee and they wanted 5 million in bonuses. So before you've even paid this man his wages, this is a 30 million pound free transfer. And you're right, Iggy, not all clubs can do that. The club might be able to turn around and go, okay, we could give him 250 grand a week because we're not paying a fee. Oh, but hang on, he wants 15 million signing on. Fucking hell. Well, if I'm paying him 15 million, that 15 million comes away from 15 million where you're going to buy Kudus or where you're going to buy Vissa. So I always think there's a lot more to these deals than us as the fans understand, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, there's a lot that free transfer doesn't always mean, or free. Doesn't mean free, does it? Because,
No.
like you said, now the agent fees one that always kill me. The club have got to pay the agent a fee for doing his job for the player.
Yeah.
I don't get it. The player's job is to pay the agent for doing his job.
Oh,
I don't understand how this works. It always does my head in when you got to pay agent fee. So look, a free transfer doesn't always mean it's a free. Yeah, you don't pay a fee for the player, but then all of a sudden the fee that you're saving on playing the player, you got to pay the agent, you got to pay this and that and the other. And before image rights, you remember the whole Dybala debacle over the image
oh,
rights.
yeah.
There's all of that going on, and sometimes by the time you go through all those hurdles, you start to ask yourself as a club, do I really want to get myself mixed up with this player? Do I want to get
Yeah,
myself
of
mixed up
course.
with this player when all of this going on? I don't know. And all of a sudden you get cold feet and say, you know what, not for me. So everything, end of the day, for a player to sign for your team, I always say this: it doesn't matter what goes on in the transfer negotiations. The player is ultimately the player. The player is the one that makes the final call. The agent say, "This is what's going on. This is what's going on here." The club's like, "Yeah, we're giving this, that, and the other," and the player goes, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Kudus wanted us, which is why it's happened. Yes, the two clubs have negotiated, but the player terms were done. Kudus have always said he wanted to go to Spurs. He made it known they wanted to come, which is why it happened so quickly. Once the two clubs have said, "Yep, this is the price we want," everything else was done. So as long as the player wants to come, but he has to meet the conditions with everything else for it to happen. It takes three
Mhm.
people, the agent, the player, and the club to make it all happen. So, um, listen, I just hope we get bringing more quality players. I want to be excited. I don't really care how much we spend on them. I don't even care how much wages they're on. I just want to see somebody that I look at a player coming into the club and I say, do you know what? Yeah, I can see how this is going to work. Well, I can see why we brought him in because it makes sense of how it is that we want to move forward.
Well,
The tour is not far away, man, Sava. We haven't got a lot to wait for game time.
we're
So,
leaving in what 19, 20 days for the tour, and we play
yeah.
Reading in 10 days. The first preseason friendlies in 10 days. So
So
I think it's
we're gonna at
really
least, at the very
important.
least, here. At the very least, we're gonna start seeing how we're looking to play, or we're gonna see signs, formation, how we're looking to move, and all of a sudden, whether we play the high line, do we drop, and we're gonna start. I know not every player is gonna be there, but I don't think we're gonna have a lot of players out in terms of not playing. So we're gonna see
Mm.
a good selection, a team of good first team selection in there.
Well, let me ask you, Iggy. I mean, obviously, we know that Kudus prefers to play off a right wing. He's
Yeah.
left-footed. We know that. What? And this might be a bit of a horrible question because obviously we don't know yet with Thomas Frank. It's a new manager. But what are you expecting to see from Kudus in terms of? Are you expecting us to play with out and out wide men? Are you expecting us to maybe go a little bit narrower with the likes of Madison and Kudus in behind and Porro and Adogi as the width? What are you expecting to see here from him and from Spurs?
Listen, I can only go by how Frank used to play at Brentford and he used to play with a
Yeah.
the three forward, say 4-3-3, or I would like to think that he's got a variation depending on the players that he's got available. That's how he's going to. I would tend how I would tend to go is the players that I have available, who are my strongest players, and I'll try to put those players in the best condition to deliver. How do I get that? If you feel like you've got a really strong back four, then go with a back four. If you can, I think we could play with a back three as well with the wing
Yep.
backs. And
Yep.
maybe Kudus can play alongside, I don't know, the likes of Solanke. I don't know. It's something that we can do. And with Madison and Kulusevski, you got variation there as well. So I think it's going to be closer to a 4-3-3 sort of lineup. That's how I see us playing with the two wide players and the main focal point being Solanke for now at least. That's how I see us starting. But with the players that we got, we can I can see how it would change to a 4-2-3-1, for example. So there is a variation there. All I want to see is whatever formation is not important for me. It's not important
Mhm.
for me. Is putting the players in the best condition to play their best football. Like you said many times last season. You and me, a lot of us have said it. Like Madison is a player that needs to be given the freedom to
Yeah.
move.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
Yeah. Don't
pigeonhole someone like
stifle him.
Madison to get the place exactly. And last season, he hasn't been the Madison that we know that he can be because I feel like when you've got a number 10, you're right, you can't stifle him. And I hope Frank allows him to move for freely. As long as you get your best players in the squad, in that first 11, to really play their football with freedom, then you base that formation around that rather than
Mhm.
letting your formation overshadow the players. The players' abilities. That's all I want to see.
A question to you. It's for you, by the way, from Phil P. One for Iggy. How buzzing would Chapo be with this signing, just for the wind-up value alone?
Uh,
Um,
Chapo is a friend of mine and someone I used to play football with many years ago. Family to Phil. He's no longer with us. He's no longer with us.
okay,
Passed away some
okay.
time ago now. He was a massive Spurs fan. He would have been buzzing first and foremost for winning that trophy last year. I'm getting my hairs. I'm standing up. He would have been absolutely buzzing for winning that trophy last year, and to see Spurs on the back of this now this signing, he'd be like us because he wasn't that much older than me, so he'd be like us. He'd be happy. He'd be a happy Spurs fan right now. So yeah, Phil. To answer your question, he'd absolutely buzzing on the new signing. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, big up to Chapo, wherever he is looking down on all of us losing our minds over signing a player from West Ham. Big up. I mean, look, it's an interesting one. It's interesting that you brought Maddison into that there, because I've said for a long time, and I get a lot of stick for this, but I've said for a long time that he's the best player at Tottenham for me. For me, I think he's the best natural footballer. Technically, tactically, I think he is the man. I do feel like he's massively stifled. What I do think will be really good is seeing a player like Kudus, who is left-footed, so we know will naturally drive inside, allowing Porro to naturally drive outside, which is the opposite to everything we saw on our wings last year, because the wingers came in. The wingers stayed out and the fullbacks went in, but it should have been the other way around. I'm looking forward to that link-up with him and people like James Maddison. That could be something that really benefits us, right? Having a couple of really good technical players like Maddison and Kudus keeping the ball up the pitch and terrorising back fours.
Someone like Maddison needs to have runners. He needs to have runners in and around him. He needs to be able to look up and see that he's got the two fullbacks stretching the pitch right out there. He needs to see wingers that maybe, if you're playing with a single striker up front, he's making those diagonal runs, the similar runs that Maddison was making to receive the ball from our centre backs, where he scored in Europe a couple of times. So he needs to see movement around him. What he doesn't want to see, and I've played in that role, what you don't want to see is your fullbacks right next to you. Like, what are you doing here? You do not need to be here. You should need to be stretching that pitch. Exactly.
Yeah.
And by doing that, then he can make things happen. And I'm hoping, and that was my frustration for him rather than at him. I know a lot of people got frustrated at him. I was frustrated for him. And any player that knows that position well would know how much impact it has on you when everyone's close to you and everyone's getting started. You don't have your brain working the way it should be working. So I'm hoping that this season we'll see a different Maddison, a much more mature Maddison, and more consistent. I definitely want to see more consistency in a player, but consistency comes when a player is, I say it again, he's put in the best condition to play his best football. And I'm hoping that whatever formation we play in, he can do that. And with players around him, like I said, if he all of a sudden sees Dogi and Porro wide, stretching the pitch, and you've got the wingers maybe coming on the inside and making a diagonal run, he can then pin those balls to them. Then we might see a better Maddison, a more consistent Maddison. And if not him, Kulusevski, different player, can also play in that role as well, in a sense. So, and look, we're going to be playing a lot more competition. Our games all of a sudden have gone even more. The number of games that we're going to be playing is far higher than the season just gone. So when people say, when we're going to play this guy, when we're going to play that guy, is he going to be an impact player? Is he going to be no? We're going to have so many games close together that you need the rotation, but you want to have a rotation where you don't necessarily weaken the team. You want to still have a really competitive team, no matter what game you're playing against. Make the rotation without hurting the team in doing so. That's why it's important that we get the quality up in the squad, as well as the quantity, obviously.
No, absolutely. But by the way, just quickly, some breaking news that isn't Tottenham, by the way, that I know you like Italian football, Iggy, that
Here we go.
Al Qadsiya in Qatar are closing in on the deal for Matteo Retegui, the deal from Atalanta, for fee of up to 65 million euros, and Pierre Aubameyang will leave them as a free agent. So a lot of people talking about Retegui or Retegui. Looks like he's joining the Saudi crew. I just thought that was interesting. By the way, I thought another bit of interesting news was this, I thought, from Romano. I'll show you all just so you can see it here. I thought this was quite interesting. He said that Hugo Ekitike, of course, we played against him for Frankfurt, keeps attracting interest from the Premier League, with Newcastle keen on the striker. Now, you know where my link's going to go immediately to this one is if Newcastle were looking at Ekitike, who apparently has an 80 million, 90 million euro price tag on his head, then that's got to tell you that somebody like, maybe an Alexander Isak might be leaving the club to Liverpool in a record fee. I know it's not Spurs. I might be putting 2 and 2 together there, Iggy, and getting 100, but it's all right enough, isn't it?
The thing is, you got to. Listen, you want the quality, you need to buy. You need to spend the money, man. At the end of the
Yep.
day, Isak is a big player. By the way, Retegui 65 million is a joke. I'll tell you why. Retegui, I'm not dismissing the player. I actually like Retegui. It currently Italy's number 9. I don't understand on the year that leads to the World Cup, you're gonna go and play in a far inferior league. Yes, your bank balance will thank you for making that move, but the quality of football you're going to be going to play on a year that's heading towards the World Cup, will he even make the World Cup squad? I don't even know. I don't even know. But anyway, going, just to answer that comment earlier on about
No.
Retegui. But listen, what would you want me to say, man? I would love Isak. What do you want me to say? I'm like, Isak's a wicked player, but he's going to be going to teams that are ready now to win titles, to win. Unfortunately for Liverpool and sadly for their loss of Jota, whether we like it or not, they need to numerically at least replace him in a squad. They need to buy another forward. So if Isak deal wasn't happening before, if Isak wasn't coming to Liverpool before, I think with that as well, they need another forward in. I think they'll go big. I don't think Liverpool need to make a lot of signings, to be honest with you. I think they need to get 2-3 quality players and they're good to go. But that's the kind of stuff I want to see us doing it. Not because I want to win a title next season or anything like that. But if we instead of making 5-6 signings, make 2 or 3 quality signings.
Yeah.
And every year work on that. You will eventually get a really good team and a really good squad if we do it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Adekunle, when you're saying SAVVA, please correct Iggy on Kulusevski. What would you like me to correct him on?
Adekuni, don't ask SAVVA to correct me. How about you correct me on what I need to be corrected on? Ask me directly what I need to be corrected. Don't use him like I'm not even here. Do you know what I mean? Tell me. What is it I need to be corrected on? It's not. I tell you what I've picked up on that comment. He's not a Kulusevski fan. I'm going to take a gamble and say my man's not a Kulusevski fan.
Well, look, but is this like the version of when 3 people are in a room, but 2 of them aren't talking to each other? They go, if you could tell so-and-so that I'm not talking to them.
It does feel a little bit like that. That's why I was laughing. I was like, why ask him? I'm not here. Just ask me. There you go. Look, the Kulusevski is a poorer version of Maddison. There you go. I could tell that he wasn't a Kulusevski fan. A poorer version of Maddison, he is not. If you say to me that Kulusevski is a different player to Maddison, Kulusevski is someone who likes to travel more with the ball in the transition. He likes to attack with the ball at his feet. Maddison's a different kind of player. Maddison is looking in a tight spaces. He's looking for the little 1-2s, the give and goes. He's looking to slip people in. Kulusevski's more like gets the ball and travels with it a bit more, attacks the spaces, defend to attack. He can make it happen in a matter of instant, in moments. So just different players. That's all.
Yeah, I mean. Listen, I'm always asked who do I prefer. Who do I prefer, Maddison or Kudus?
Both. They're both Spurs players.
Listen, I prefer. The problem for me is I don't see Kulu as a winger. This is the problem I think we have. I don't see Kulu as a winger, and I think Maddison's a better 10. Do think Kulusevski's a good footballer, but what I think it's about a manager now that can find a way to get them both in the team. Maybe there's a scenario in which sometimes you don't play wide men and you have Kulu, Maddison, and Kudus behind a front man with the fullbacks bringing the. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Kulu would be a good forward as well. Kulu would also be a really good false number 9 if we ever decide to play like that as well. He could play further forward. He doesn't. For Sweden, I swear I've seen him play up front alongside someone to say if we got 2 players playing up front, someone like Solanke, Kulu could be a really good player to play off him. So what I'd like to see, guys, this is my interpretation of it. I like to see us having a variation of players that allows us to play different ways. So sometimes, you play a team and you play a certain way and it works, and you only go up against another team and you have to tweak things a little bit, try something a little bit different, that's where the variation of players will come through for you,
Yeah.
providing that they are very much part of that team and they feel very valid within the squad. We've got the group. We need the manager now to make that
Agreed.
to make them a team, and
Yeah,
that's what we
they
want
need
to
to
do
be
for a lot of
united.
time. Yeah, a lot in the world of United and cities. There's only one Hotspur. We need to be the Hotspur. So, so we need to have Frank to get us to play as a team, because for large parts, at least in the league, we was very disjointed as a team. We was very like we were doing whatever. We need
Yeah.
to play nice and compact and allow those players to really work for you. And Kulu, I would keep. I know people saying get rid of it. No, man. Unless you
And
go and get,
he's injured, so he's not going
yeah,
he's not going
exactly.
anywhere
It's not going
anyway.
anywhere.
But what I find funny, Iggy, is we always like, as a fan base, you can tell we're not used to success, right? And what I mean by that is when Liverpool buying players, they're talking about, oh, we've now got, oh, right, we've got Wirtz and Soboslai that can play in the 10. Oh, we've got Gakpo and Diaz that can play out there. We've got Salah, all of these things.
They don't pose
With
themselves
Spurs,
them sort of problems. They don't
right.
pose themselves them problems.
At Spurs, we go, oh, hang on, Kulu and Maddison. Which one do we sell? Well, listen, I'm not
Bring 'em
opposed
in.
to selling any player, but
Bring 'em in.
at the end of the day, why not have as many of them as possible so that when
Let me figure it out.
when you're playing, I don't know, when we're playing
PSG. PSG. When we're playing PSG in a few weeks.
When you're playing PSG on the Wednesday night in the Champions League and then you're at home in a league game on a Saturday, I want to know that I might be able to mix it up a little bit. I might be able, okay, listen, Kulu's not 100% fit. All right,
Without
miss this
weakening
one
the
out,
team.
without weakening the team. But we always seem to want one player for every position. And Iggy, my biggest example of this is, you remember the years of, obviously the years under Poch, where we had the really good 11. Yeah. And people, you know, people would go, oh, I think Spurs have been linked with XYZ. And we'd automatically go, yeah, but are they going to sit on a bench behind Dele Alli? Are they going to sit on a bench behind Kane? But then when we don't sign them, we go, oh, we've got no squad depth. It's like, yeah,
it's a squad
that's
game
what the big
now.
clubs do.
It's no longer an 11 plus subs. There's none of that. We need to. Maybe it's a football thing now. Look at this Club World Cup, right? Just to go a little bit off. You need to have a squad because you got so many games close together, which is what the Club World Cup has. The conditions that they're playing in. If you don't rotate, you need to make the subs, because you got players that are coming up to the manager at half time saying, "Take me off. I can't take this heat. I can't." So what I'm saying is that when you're playing Champions League, what does it mean for us, Siggy? When you got Champions League football, you're playing 3 games a week, every week for large parts of the season. Very rare we're going to be in a situation where we play 1 game a week. It's going to be a rarity this year, unless, of course, God forbid, we go out of all the competitions early on. Then it's like, yeah, okay, now we've got 1 game a week. But if we go with the mindset in that we're going to be in those competitions for as long as possible, we're going to be playing 3 games a week. You need to be able to rotate, have the players to rotate without weakening the team. So you don't pose yourself those problems. We're not the manager, guys. The manager's there for that job. He's getting paid to do that job. And believe me, you ask any manager in world football, it doesn't matter what level they're at, if he knows his football, he'll be like, you know what, you get me the players. Let me worry about the rest of it. Let me worry about how I'm going to rotate the players and utilize the players in the best possible way. We don't want to have a situation where we've had in the past where Son, do you remember Son was like, mate, we've been overplaying this guy. He's getting injured. And with Kane before him, we overuse this guy. We keep playing him. And no, we want to have a situation where we can give the guy a week off or give a rest and play some of it without thinking, oh, shit, we got Son on the bench. Oh, we're not going to score. No, we don't. You don't look at the fact that you got Son on the bench. Look at the fact that you worry about a player that's on the bench that's playing a lot of games who's not playing this game. That means the player that's on the frigging field is not good enough for your team. Get him out. You know what I mean?
But Iggy, loads of clubs have this issue, and it's something like Arsenal are trying to address now. Look at how they've run Saka into the ground because they don't have a proper right-sided player.
Yeah.
But then when they go and try and get Noni Madueke, who is a winger that can cover both sides, oh, it's underwhelming. Yeah, but you won't be saying that when you can rest Saka because he's in. Do you know what I mean? I think you've got to, you've got to have a squad. Got to have a squad of players. Iggy, I don't know how long you good for. You got another 10 minutes in you? Or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can stay a little bit longer. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay,
I could
cool.
about 1:45, then I'm good. I'm good for another half hour, easy.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to do some super chats, and then I've got a question from my man Wayne Holland. We all love Wayne Holland. We have to be very grateful. We have to be very, very grateful to Wayne Holland, because without Leicester City last season, we would have finished 18th. So thank you to Leicester City for propping us up. Big up to you, Wayne. Much appreciated. Big up to the Two Mark Show. There he is, Mark Cook. If anyone hasn't seen, they've just done a wonderful series of best all-time 11s. Please get over there and check them out. He says, congratulations on the 19K. I feel like a bit of a fraud, really. I should have waited until I got to 20, but, sod it. We're enjoying ourselves. Why not have a party? Big up to you, Mark.
We've got to celebrate the wins. We've got to celebrate the wins, man. Don't worry about it.
So here we go. Big up to you, Mark. Thank you very much for that. Big up to another Mark who's another channel member of mine with a super sticker. Very generous, my man. Thank you very much. Really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. Jukamain, thank you very much. I hope I'm saying that right. That's 2 big super chats in the space of 1 day. So thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Jukamain. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate anyone who gives their hard-earned money to my business. So thank you very much. Richest man, lovely to meet you on the members show just now. He's just carrying on the super sticker train. Choo-choo. We love a super sticker train. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Really appreciated. Emma Morton, always very generous. Emma, what does this mean? We all know your favourite Spurs player is Brennan Johnson. What does this mean for your man, Brennan? Is he going to play? Is he not? We're going to find out. Big up to you, Emma. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. By the way, it's not her favourite player, but I do like to say it. Big up to Guinness Guru. Thank you very much. A guru of Guinness. Lovely. Can't beat a nice cold Guinness if it's proper. Ideally in Dublin is where you get the nice ones. 19K equals a milestone on a far bigger journey. Go SAVVA. Thank you very much. Very generous of you to say. Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Really appreciate that. Big up to Futures, Bright Futures, Lily White. Come on, you Spurs, who's carrying on the super sticker train. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, my man. Craig Scott, who is General Tracks. I love that. Hopefully that's a DJ name. You like DJ General Tracks or something? Or big up to you. Thank you very much for continuing the super sticker train as well. Much appreciated to you. 2 more. Tweak has continued it. Also a channel member of mine. Thank you. Very generous people today, Iggy. See what happens when Daniel Levy, if you sign more people, apparently I make more money. Keep signing players. Big up to you, Tweak. And Marco has come in with a super sticker as well. Thank you very much. You are all very, very, very generous. Thank you very much. Ben Hart has come in at this last second as well with a super sticker as well. Thank you. Look at you guys. Save some money, people. We're live at 10 p.m. as well. So keep actually chuck it in. Big up to you, all of you. And thank you very much. And the question, I'll let you go with this, Iggy. Wayne Holland has said, you've a lot of wide players. Do you agree you need 2 players, very good players, for centre mid?
Wayne, I mentioned it earlier on. I feel like we're missing something in the midfield. I do think we need a box-to-box player. To give you an idea, and I don't go with me here a little bit. You know, someone like Enzo Fernandez. Is it Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea? I was watching him the other night, and he the way Maresca is trying to get him to play, like to go forward, to get in the box, arrive in the box late. In a similar fashion, I'm not comparing the two before anyone gets carried away. In a similar fashion that Lampard used to do for them, he's trying to get Enzo to do that. Now, of course, they're 2 completely different players, and of course, Lampard converted more goals, and the quality perhaps is even a better player. But I like the tenacity of Enzo. I like the fact that he likes to get forward. I like the fact that when Chelsea are in a little bit of bother, and I've been watching a lot of the Chelsea games in the Club World Cup, Enzo's the one that really rallies them up a little bit. So he's got the leadership, personality, the nastiness that he has as well. That's, I think, is the kind of player that, in my mind, and is the one example is the top. There's many other examples I could also mention, but he's the one that comes to mind. That I feel that somebody like him, with his character, the nastiness, the getting forward, he gets about on the pitch as well. He leads. Personality, I think that's the one I'm trying to get at as well. We need someone like that, someone that gives us something different. I think Bruno Guimaraes, to a certain point, has the same sort of attributes. Tonali, another one, is a player that I absolutely love from the time watching him at AC Milan. I feel that, I don't know if I'm making it clear, the kind of player that I feel that we are missing. I don't think we've got that in Sarr. Bissouma, we've had it in dribs and drops. Maddison, we just mentioned. Bentancur, when he's good, but he can be bad when he wants to be bad as well. So I feel like we need something else in them. If we can get two, even better. Big up, Sale. If we can get two players in there to mix it up a little bit with a good solid. Listen, I still think we've got a really good solid defence, and I think we've got a good goalkeeper. If then, of course, you have room to get someone even better, bring them in. But I think at the back, we've got the base to go from and improve our midfield, and of course, like we've done today, added to the forward line as well. So we're in a good shot. Yeah, listen, I'll take one good midfielder. If we can get two, Wayne, to answer your question, all the better.
Yeah, just quickly, one thing I would say is AZ Spurs. A lot of people keep saying this. I think the key difference for me is I think last year we needed a number 6, a destroyer, in a team that played with two at the back and were wide open.
Line, yeah.
The problem is, if you actually go and watch how Thomas Frank's team set up, he doesn't play with an out-and-out 6. He tends to play, and again, I hate these sayings, he tends to play with the double pivot, or what Iggy and I would probably call from back in the day, a midfield pairing. And what those two midfielders do is they don't tend to go crazy. They don't tend to be like we had everyone just bombing forward. They tend to know when to sit, when to go to the halfway line, when to drop in front of the back four. So I feel like, listen, I've got nothing wrong with a number 6 coming in, but I think we've got to see what style of play we play, because either way, the number 6 in a Thomas Frank system is probably going to be playing in a 2, which means you've got the 6 and the 8, and they're doing that. So we'll see. But
the thing is, to add to Az, man, I know you're saying a destroyer, but I think football's moved on a little bit. You can't just have a destroyer anymore. I think you need to have someone who destroys the play, but still needs to have attributes to the game. Okay, once you've destroyed the play of the opposition, what can you do with it? So, listen, Maz, Sab, you're right. You're right. We have to see the way this Spurs team is going to be playing, and hopefully we're going to see it, the next game coming up in not so long. We're going to start getting an idea of how we wish to play. Bissouma in a double pivot or the pairing, Bissouma can play that role with Bentancur. I really do think it all comes to interpretation and putting those players in the best possible scenario to get them to play their best football. I don't think we've seen the best Bissouma. We've seen him in parts. He played a really good final. So he can step up, but he needs to show more consistency. Bentancur is another really valuable player. I really like Bentancur. But you need to put them in the conditions to play their best football. In the right setup, these players can play. We have got a base. If we then add to the quality there, all the better. But let's see how Frank sets up the team in the first couple of games that we play.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. And again, this is why it's really difficult. A lot of us, I think, are still talking as though we're in that Ange setup where we're like, oh my God, we're really wide open. Thomas Frank doesn't do that. Thomas Frank is not going to have us with 2 inverted fullbacks, 2 at the back, midfielders bombing forward. Thomas Frank's going to have a bit more of a base. A lot more of a solid base. And if you watch how his teams play, they're a lot more reactive. So like when they flew forward with Damsgaard, Schade, Visser and Buemo, it was very mumuch transition. Now, I expect we won't be as transition because I think we'll probably have a bit more of the football. But he's not going to play 2 at the back, is he? Like Ange, is he? He's not going to. He's really not going to be doing that.
I don't see the same setup. I don't think we're going to play as high either, which Van der Ven's hamstrings will be thankful for. I think it will suit us a little bit more. It will probably, when Dragusin comes available again, if we don't get rid of him by then, I think it will suit him a bit more. Perhaps we'll go into a back three. We've got the capabilities of turning into a back three. We've got the players to do that. So we can mix it up if needed be. I don't know, guys. I don't know how Frank wants to play this. Like I always said, he's going to evaluate everything, the team and the players that he has available, and say, do you know what? We can play with a 4. We can play with a 3. We can play with a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 3-5. The most important thing for a manager, any good manager or coach, whatever you want to call him, is to have variation and to allow him to make those variations with good players in the squad. I think that's what we currently have that at this moment. People keep mentioning that Luis. Listen, he's a good player. Of course, he's a quality player, and I would even add him to this squad. He could be got up for 25, 30 million. Bring him in. If Frank values and says, you know what, he can bring us a bit more quality in that middle of the park, bring him in. Only he would know. I don't see him coming at Spurs. I'll be honest with you. I don't see. Not that I don't think he's good enough. I think he's a really good player. I would have him, but I just don't see. I don't see how he's gonna be bringing him in. So, but yeah, for sure. Listen, we have to sit tight a little bit longer and see how our first outings go, and then we can start getting. We can come back here and definitely rediscuss it. I've seen Spurs play 1 or 2 times to say, do you know what? This is what I took from that, and this is what I see us doing. And then you can start identifying players that we want to bring in merit of what you see on the pitch.
No, I completely agree. It's really difficult at the moment to talk about it, having not seen a single Thomas Frank game. And also, he's only had them for like two, 3 training sessions on the grass. So, listen, it's going to be interesting. What we do know is that there is going to be a lot of coaching. Saw that video the other day where Justin Cochrane was speaking to the players, and the first comment underneath was like, these players don't know what he's talking about. They've not been coached for 2 years. And it was like, well, they're going to be coached now.
The good thing has got, with the injury, apart from the injured players aside, he's got them all there, isn't he? That no one's been away on any tournaments or FIFA Club World Cup or anything like that. We've got everyone there that's, back in training, and he can implement his ideas straight away to the players that they're going to go out there. And obviously, the quicker we can get these new players coming in, the better. Get them settled in as quickly as possible. You want to have them available straight away. I hope we don't do a situation where we leave it really late to bring them in. I want to bring them now so they got enough time, to get into the mechanisms of the team and how we want to play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a few super chats out, and then I will leave it there so that we don't hammer it to death. I am meant to be live later on tonight as well. So let's get to super chats. Big up to my man Pete. Just putting in another super sticker. Legends, keeping the super sticker chain going. Love you, man. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate that. Chris Robb has said, congrats on the 19K. Well deserved. Big up Football Heritage TV. Thanks, Chris. Trust me, YouTube channels are... Who's at my front door? Oh, mate, leave it there. Hang on. It's all right. He's left the parcel at the door. Fair play to him. Well done, delivery driver. He's walked off. Sorry about that. Chris Robb, yeah, listen, YouTube channels are tough. I know everyone thinks they're easy, Iggy, don't they? You just turn the camera on and go, but it's a lot of work.
Listen, it's a lot of work, especially when you do like yourself. You're fully invested in what you're doing right now. It's like, and you're doing another show at 10 o'clock, you just said. So it's no job. But at least the only thing I would say after today, you got content. You got Spurs are giving us something to say. Do you know what? Let's talk about something. I'll be happy to do a video. I'll be happy to do a video every day if they gave me something. And hopefully after today, it could be a start of something. We could be excited to say we've got players coming through the door that are going to make a difference for the team.
No, absolutely. Listen, big up to you, Chris. Really appreciate that. Big up to Danny Kiriakou, the fraud that is Danny Kiriakou, who has gifted a Football Heritage TV membership. I'm not sure who it went to, but I'm sure they're saying thank you to Danny either way. So thank you very much. I hope he's happy
with the signing that we've made today. I would like to know what Danny thinks of
Danny, what do you think of it? Because every day for the last month, you've come into my stream saying, we signed anyone yet? I bet you it will be something along the lines of, Yeah, but I bet you we don't get another one through the door. I can see it a mile off. Big up to you, Danny. And he's followed up with nice beard and glasses, Lubo. And funnily enough, I actually got a message from Lubo about half an hour ago that says, what's going on? I've grown a silver beard. So there you go, Lubo and Danny on the same wavelength. Thank you very much, Danny. Big up to my man, Martin Knightsbridge, out there in Spain, living the dream. So we need a clever and intelligent midfielder. Tell you what, I would have loved, Martin. I would have loved Arden Jashari for that job. I would have loved.
You know what? SAVVA, tell me a little bit about it, because I heard he's going Milan, and Milan have been. They're so excited about having him, and I don't know enough. My son was like, he's a really good player, and I don't know enough about him. And someone bringing this guy up, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Is he a good signing then?
Yeah, when I've watched Arden Jashari, he's the full package as a midfielder. Exceptional passing, strong, great positioning, good in the recovery. I tell you what, just go. There's a video. There is actually a video out there called Arden Jashari, the complete player. When you watch it, you go, how is no one up until now picked this lad up? He is brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant.
Milan looks like he's already agreed terms with Milan. They're just waiting for the clubs to reach a final, but they're going to get there. And the left back, apparently, from Club Brugge, just signed for Brighton.
Yeah, Maxim de Kuipers. Yeah.
And then I heard he's meant to be really good as well. So how does Brighton do it as well? Another one. Brighton, they go and pick them out, don't they?
Also, Iggy, the Club Brugge have just lost Talby, the really talented winger, to Sunderland. So Club Brugge are being ripped apart. But Martin, that's the sort of player I want. Go and check him out if you haven't. But you are definitely right. We do need a clever, intelligent
I read
midfielder.
that with Jose Mourinho. You need to be clever, intelligent.
Clever. Intelligent.
Not stupid. I read it.
Exactly. Big up to my man Destiny 5. It's a congratulations on the 19K, bro. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate you, all of you. If anyone else would like to subscribe, please do, as we head towards 20,000, I guess, is the next marker. So big up to you. Thank you very much. Guys, girls, great news. Great news tonight about Kudus being signed. And listen, onwards and upwards. Let's enjoy this today. And then Daniel Levy, don't stop there. I tell you what, Daniel Levy, give us a window where we can't sit there all next year going, but Levy. Give us a window where we go, right, we've got the players now. We've got the players to get better, and we'll take it from there. Just quickly, I was just looking to see where I'm going to send you all to see who is live. Not many people are live. I will send you all over to Saeed. He's always worth a laugh, isn't he? I'll send you all over to Saeed. When you get there, please type in SAVVA Raid. There's a reason we do that, by the way, YouTubers, but please type in SAVVA Raid. I'll see most of you, tonight, 10 p.m. We can gather some thoughts, get some more information on this. Also gives me some time to see my wife and get some brownie points. I'll see you at 10 p.m.
And to get your parcel outside the front door.
And to get the parcel outside the front door. Please go and subscribe to Iggy and Stel and the boys at Tottenham Away as well. Big up to you, Iggy. Thanks for joining.
No problem.
And as always, come on, you Spurs, and welcome Mohamed Kudus.